It's time for another Path to the Playoffs. Casey Phillips here with senior writer and editor Scott Smith. And every week we update you guys on what the playoff situation is looking like, what that chase for a playoff spot looks like. So let's start off by just what happened this last weekend, both what the Bucs win did and what other games happened that could influence the Buccaneers playoff chase.
Well, obviously the Bucs took care of their own business with a big win on the road. In terms of tiebreakers, it wasn't the most important game because it was an AFC opponent, but still keeping pace with the Packers, who also won, and Arizona was idle. So what you end up with is the Buccaneers staying in the third seed, but getting a little bit of distance because the Rams lost and Dallas lost. So the Bucs are pretty solidly in the third seed right now. Because of that, those losses by the Rams and the Cowboys were good for the Buccaneers. Also, Minnesota lost and San Francisco won, which shook things up just a little bit in the standings.
Okay, and so what are the standings as they are right now?
So Arizona is still holding on to the number one seed at 9-2. They did lose to the Packers some weeks ago, so the Packers have that tiebreaker edge in the race for the number one seed and the only first round bye available now that it's a 17 field. The Packers improved to 9-3 and the Buccaneers are 8-3, so a half game behind the Packers, who are now going into their bye week. So the Buccaneers could tie the Packers for the second spot with a win in Atlanta, but they would still be in third because of conference record, which would be the first tiebreaker for the Buccaneers against either the Packers or the Cardinals. And right now, the Packers have a really good NFC record at 7-2, while the Bucs are 5-3. So games like this one in Atlanta are very important to the Buccaneers as they try to improve that conference record, which will be the first tiebreaker that will come into effect with most of these teams at the end of the season.
Okay, and then I think it is so good to just remind everybody, because of some of the new things like that 17 game and the one bye and all of that, if the season were to be ending now and that things were exactly as they are now at the end of the season, what would that mean for the Buccaneers?
Well, Arizona would get that number one seed, and then all three of the other division winners would start the playoffs with a home game against one of the wild card teams. And since the Buccaneers are right now the 3 seed, they would get the 6 seed. And last week that was Minnesota, but Minnesota lost and San Francisco won, and the two teams essentially switched places in the standings, and now San Francisco is in at number 6. So if the playoffs started now, or if these standings were the same at the end of the season, the Buccaneers would have a home game against the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, well, that is going to do it for us on this edition of Path to the Playoffs. We will be here with you every week throughout the rest of the regular season to keep you updated on what that path to the playoffs looks like. We'll see you next time.